it's something I wanted to do, right? You know, from I started off my career, is to play at Wembley, and then you get a bit more cocky. It's play at Wembley and win something, and then it's play at Wembley and win the FA Cup. The Cup's one of them competitions that you just remember the winners, and you know, there's certain people that stand out on the day, and people remember them. Yeah, but that's what football's all about, isn't it? That's what cup finals are all about.
You grab the medal off, that's the most important thing, the medal, because you never let go of that. That's never going back. The cup, you know, you've got to give that back, but the medal, tell you what, that stays in your hand, and you sleep with it. Yeah. Marvellous, marvellous day.
The best thrill of the lot was always running around when you won something.
You know, I give the cup a good lift, and I held it there for a while and had a good shout. But yeah, it's a moment that you'll always remember, always treasure.
The cup goes to Goodison Park.
Football funeral cards were all the rage when Everton lost their first ever FA Cup final in 1893, with Wolves the winners by a single goal to nil. 4 years later, they again reached the final, but it was Aston Villa who ran out 3-2 winners. The Everton fans converged on London for the 1906 Cup final with Newcastle United. Sandy Young's goal was enough to take the trophy back to Merseyside for the first time. "84,000 spectators were at the Crystal Palace Stadium to see Everton's second successive final in 1907, this time against Sheffield Wednesday. The picture shows the legendary winger Jack Sharp scoring for Everton, but Wednesday won the game 2-1. Molineux was the venue as Everton faced West Ham United for a place in the 1933 FA Cup final. This Jimmy Dunn header gave the Blues a first-half lead and set the Toffees' travelling army of supporters into a state of delirium. The prospect of a fifth final beckoned. But the Hammers fought back and were rewarded with Vic Watson's equaliser. Ted Critchley was the Everton hero with this winning goal, and they were through to meet Manchester City in their first ever Wembley Cup final. 1933 was the first final in which players were numbered, and this goal by the great Dixie Dean helped secure a 3-0 win. It was fitting that Dean, the club's greatest ever goalscorer, should collect the cup and lead the Everton celebrations. Liverpool stood in the way of another Wembley appearance when the sides met in the 1950 semi-final.
But even the best defence must give way, especially to an attack like Liverpool's. Wainwright's hasty clearance goes to Little, and Billy makes certain that it'll be an all-red Wembley final. A sporting finish to a sporting semi-final.
At Main Road, Manchester, Everton kicked off against Bolton, wearing white shirts, and the first half was just a case of goal scoring by Bolton. Holden got the first in 9 minutes.
3 years later, it was Bolton who dashed Everton hopes in this semi-final.
There followed two in quick succession by Lofthouse. Really, with this rate of scoring, it's almost like being at Twickenham for the Calcutta Cup match. Now Everton had a chance. Clinton took a penalty but missed. The Toffees went downhearted, however, and they scored through Parker in the first minute of the second half. Then from a free kick, Farrell got their second. Finally, Everton scored again through Parker to make it 3-4, but Bolton go to Wembley.
United in the final in the semi-final at Burnden Park 1-0 by a Colin Harvey shot, which I think took about half an hour to hit the back of the net, but that was as good as a 40-yard crackerjack. And they had the good side out then as well, you know, Charles and Law, and, well, we weren't favourites, but we did them. That was a great feeling.
Derek Temple made a break down the left and pulled it back, and it was coming back onto my left foot, and I thought, there we go, just have a swing, and I did, and it beat Harry Gregg, and possibly the only place he could have done it. He cut out all the angles, and I was just squeezed it in on the far post.
And then came the goal that shattered Manchester's hopes. Harvey takes a temporal pass and shoots confidently past Harry Gregg.
It was a late goal, 1-0, and they had their chances, we had our chances. It was a game that was always going to be decided by one goal. But the ecstasy after, you know, when the final whistle goes in the semi-final. Because say what you like, I've only been to Wembley twice in the FA Cup. I've won one final and we lost the other, but I wouldn't mind getting there every year and losing. It's semi-finals. I've lost 2 semi-finals. That's the worst time to lose. To get there is fine, and right, you try and win, but to lose in the semi-finals, it's bad. It's bad.
I mean, it was a great occasion. It wasn't very far away. It was only a Bolton, and big hordes of Everton fans there, and Man United, and a magnificent atmosphere, and a great result.
So Harry Catterick had taken the club to Wembley for the first time in 33 years.
No, Wembley's fine. Yeah. And the funny thing about it is, as anybody will tell you, you worry about this. Once you're out there, and things start to happen. You wonder why you couldn't sleep last night, or your stomach's turning over. You just relax. When it's like going to the dentist. Once you're in the chair, you just face up to it and get on with the game. And it all goes so quickly. Somebody pointed out to me, Everton hadn't won the cup, I don't think, since 1933. But you don't actually go out thinking, well, I'm going to be the first captain to lead out an Everton Cup winning side, But it's nice to, create history like sort of post-war rather than pre-war.
Everton are lining up with a back 4 of Wright, then the Bone, then Harris number 6, then Wilson 3. What's a good throw to 4. Macalio, goal!
The funny thing about that was we'd gone right through the cup run without conceding a goal, and there we were, like a goal down after about inside 5 minutes, albeit a deflection, I think, off one of the defenders. I've since seen the game numerous times, and we were quite a bit of the first half. So when they got that goal, and just after, a lot of Evertonians think we were 2 down at half time. We weren't. It was about 10 minutes into the second half. When that happens, you think, well, I'm not going to give up, but it could be our year next year.
Can Alex Young do it? No. And it's Phantom taking over. So well. Oh, he's going for a lovely move. It's going to be the second goal by Ford. A goal. And that should just about clinch it. Wednesday's Cup, it's Ford.
He was running at me quite quickly, David Ford, and I should have just held off, but I went at him. And of course he went past me, and Gordon made a very good save actually, but he just bounced away from him. Or was it John Phantom, I think? Just bounced away from Gordon, of course he got whacked in. I suppose basically, but it all happened so quickly. And it was a bit of a sticking a foot in thing, realistically.
That's Hardy to Gabriel to Harris. Now a chance for Trabilco. He scored. So Trabilco has scored for Everton. Sheffield Wednesday have brought everybody back now. They have 11 men between the ball and their goal. Scott with the take it there, you see. Harris moving up. Scott. Trabilco. A goal! He's equalised! And 2 Everton supporters have raced onto the pitch.
And then this fellow ran on the pitch. And, you realise that nobody should run onto the pitch. You can't have any sympathy with them. And so he was dodging, weaving and bobbing, and all these poor policemen trying to chase him. And one grabbed his jacket, and this fellow just flung his jacket off. This poor policeman went flat on his face in the middle, and it became a laugh.
And their 2 supporters are going to see no more of this game. One of them thinks it. And a great tackle, almost on the line. Almost on the line as that Everton supporter slipped his coat. As the Bone probably telling the man to go quietly. And who's that? Harris, I think. Harris was wearing the policeman's helmet.
Eddie Cavana. I mean, that was the first football hooligan. where the auxiliary policeman was chasing him, and Eddie was disrobing as he went across. He reckoned he got back in. He was thrown out, but he reckoned he got back in. And if anybody could ever have got back into Wembley, Eddie Cavana would be the man. Because I still see him. I said to the referee and the police that day, I said, "Gentlemen, he's not a hooligan." Because I played in the same youth team as Eddie in 1957. He was, in those days, he had like a little short crew cut, you know, the old American crew cut. And I was the gentleman centre half, and he was the little terrier. By this time, he'd put a bit of weight on, I'd lost a bit of hair, you know, but I was trying to get across. He was part of the Everton youth side of 1957.
Everton buzzing around with much more purpose than they were doing, covering the gaps, making it almost impossible for Wednesday to create space, and now a great chance of that mistake by Jerry Young. It's Temple, and it's the third goal. Oh, what a tragedy for Jerry Young.
I always felt sorry for Sheffield after that, because I've been in a few 2-0 up games where you shouldn't lose when you're 2-0 up, but unfortunately you do.
Well, there's a good shade of odds that all the Everton players don't get up underneath that back slapping. There's LeBone, and there Her Royal Highness Princess Margaret with the cup.
I remember Princess Margaret was absolutely beautiful. I've still got that programme, and I mean, she's quite a handsome woman now at 60 odd, isn't she? But she was, you know, she was a doll. Little white hands with blue veins. There must be blue blood in those things, you know. Absolutely beautiful. You grab this delicate hand, and she gives you the cup, and then you grab the medal off. That's the most important thing, the medal, because you never let go of that. That's never going back. The cup, you know, you've got to give that back, but the medal is there. Yeah. When you win the cup, you become more famous. You meet these famous personalities. But that medal, tell you what, that stays in your hand, and you sleep with it. Yeah. Marvellous, marvellous day.
This dramatic penalty by winger Johnny Morrissey set up a Wembley showdown with West Bromwich Albion.
We had a very, very good side, and it was a shock that we lost. It wasn't a great final. Apparently, it was a very poor final, but you never realise you're playing in a bad game until you see it afterwards. But I think we'd beaten them 5 at the Hawthorns and beat them at Goodison. But goals win games.
Fraser and Albion piling the pressure on Everton now. This is Astle.
Yes, it is gutting. You know, it does gut you. In fact, I didn't really feel like running around. It was Gordon West who said, "Come on, Labby." I mean, you just feel like walking off the pitch. You feel you've let everybody down. You see, but anyway, you have a few drinks afterwards, and it just falls into place with life. It's not really. The worst thing is coming back to Liverpool, and you haven't got a cup. You know, you haven't got a cup to wave. It's embarrassing.
In 1971, Catterick's side faced Shankly's Liverpool at Old Trafford, with a place in the final at stake.
Morrissey. Whittle. Ball. Highway. Evans. Yes. Evans. Oh, what a good reverse ball. Hall. Davis.
Derby dumped Everton out of the cup at the third round stage in 1976.
Shot on for George, and he scores number 2.
A year later, Gordon Lee had taken over from Billy Bingham as manager, and his side found themselves trailing 2-1 to Liverpool with only minutes remaining at their main road semi-final.
Here's Mackenzie again. Oh, Rio! That was a fine ball. It was Buckley finding Goodless. In the middle, there are 3 waiting. Mackenzie, Hamilton! Hamilton's got the touch. And Everton incredibly. Or are they in front? The referee is on the spot, and it's been disallowed.
I was with the A team at Rochdale, and we were on the way back, and the coach kept the news was coming through about the results and what have you, and all of a sudden Brian Hamilton had scored, and it was given as a good goal at the time, and the coach erupted, and only to be discovered that the goal had been disallowed for some reason. Still don't know to this day why.
Clive Thomas may have broken Evertonian hearts, but in the replay, Everton were overwhelmed by their neighbours.
This time he has found support. McDermott, well blocked. Now Case. It's on for Case. That's number 2. That's Jimmy Case. And that's Wembley.
In 1980, Everton were again one step from Wembley, but Second Division West Ham had other ideas.
So important look up. Devonshire. Pearson, Devonshire, he's in the gap! Can he put it in? He can! Oh, that's a brilliant goal! That is a marvellous goal! Latchford, Berardi, Lampard who got it away, but up comes Wright, 7 minutes left. Plenty of Everton players forward. Oh, that's turned in superbly by Latchford!
I think it was Frank Lampard, and he just seemed to get in between. I think it was me and Billy Wright, and it looked as if it was going wide. I looked over to see it, and it looked as if it was going wide. I think it hit the floor and bounced inside the post, and then obviously he went off and did his merry dance around the corner flag.
Mike, Brooking, cross, and oh, it's gone in by Lampard! Frank Lampard has scored for West Ham!
I think we were always destined to win the cup. I mean, we were a good side. We had a bit of luck, like at Gillingham and things like that. So, you know, I think we were always going to win it. Looking back now, at the time, we just took each game as it comes because we were young and we just wanted to play football, really.
With Everton languishing in the lower half of the league, Howard Kendall's job was on the line when Everton met Gillingham in the Cup. This strike from Kevin Sheedy helped them through at the third time of asking and eased the pressure on the manager. The Blues cruised past Shrewsbury and into the quarter-finals. Peter Reid grabbing the pick of the goals.
First time, obviously, we've been involved in a big sort of semi-final. And I don't think, because we were all young, all naive, we didn't really know what it was all about. But I think we come together on the day, and we played a good side with Schultz on the other end, and that. And so it's a big day for me, like to play against someone like him as well.
It was 0-0, and then we had to play extra time. I mean, I think Howard said to us, "You've got them beat here because they've got a few old players in the side." And I always remember Frank Worthington saying to me after the match, "Well done." It's well, this was at the end, not before extra time, and he said, "Well done." I said, "What you shake my hand for? Is extra time yet?" And he was head down there. So then you sort of look at it, and they've got a few oldish players in the side, and he said, "You'll be fitter. You're younger and fitter, so you should win the game." And obviously we did with a free kick, I think it was, and Peter Adrian Heath coming in to edit past Shilton.
It was a great result. It took us ages to get home.
The pageantry and the passion and the glamour of the English FA Cup final.
The only thing I can remember about the day is really picking up the paper in the morning, Graham Taylor saying I was crap on crosses. So I thought, well, you know, that's good motivation for me. He might be right, like, but I mean, on the day I was okay.
And Southall took it beautifully, challenged by Riley. Good early handling by Neville Southall.
When you get your first cup final, you don't realise what it's all about. You don't realise how many people are watching and what it actually means to people. And the longer you go on, the more finals you're playing, the worse it gets, I think. The first ones, you know, you're there to enjoy it, and I think because we're so young, we were so naive, we hadn't got a clue what it was all about. So we just went out with the attitude that we were going to play our football, and we had a lot of confidence. And we scored a good couple of goals.
But it's such a good match to watch, and here's Peter Reid handing over to Andy Gray. Richardson. And here he is again. And the cross headed half away, and Stephen Sharp! And a goal for Everton by Graham Sharp!
I thought we were going to win. I mean, we had a good side, and Wembley suited us. I don't think it suited them so much. It was always hot, and they played Graham Taylor style. and the pitch wasn't quite long enough for them. So I think, they were always going to get worn out before us, I think. And they played a pressure game. We kept the ball well and we moved the ball well. I think they just got more and more tired in the end. I mean, they go on about the controversial goal, but it was a good goal by our standards.
Stephen again. Gray and Sharp waiting in the centre. And Gray is closing in here. Oh, and Sherwood didn't collect, and the goal is given.
We've been starved of success for a long time. So it was obviously nice to show everybody that we'd give them something for all the black days. It was nice. It was good to see, and to be fair, it made everybody want more.
Andy Gray's signing turned Everton's season, and his goal clinched the FA Cup. Their first trophy for 14 years.
Once we actually won something, we knew we'd win other things, and the big thing was winning the first one. And I think it snowballed from there, really. So I think you look back and say, and we were driven from 83, but we won in 84, and 84 was a major one for us.
Up the stairs they go, and Kevin Ratcliffe, the youngest FA Cup winning captain for 20 years, since Bobby Moore received the cup for West Ham back in 64. He's only 23. He goes forward to receive the FA Cup on behalf of Everton Football Club. A memorable moment for Evertonians everywhere. Their first major trophy for 14 years.
The holders began their defence of the cup with a tricky tie at Elland Road, and once again it was a familiar figure who sealed their win.
And Sheedy hits the bar. Gray's coming in for the rebound with the goalkeeper. And Sheedy again, and in the net, and 2-0.
Having steamrolled their way past Doncaster and Telford, Everton faced an altogether stiffer task from Ipswich in the quarter-final at Goodison Park.
Sheedy again goes for the other side. Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant! Sheedy getting back to force a change of direction. Here's Wilson. That's a good shot! And it goes through Neville Southall, who up till now has been a spectator. Butcher did well. Zondervan! Lovely goal! Lovely set-piece goal. Reed. Yes, he's made the gap. Vanden Hauw. Yes! Mountfield has done it! The hold on the cup has been re-established. Right up on the back line. Poor cross. Oh, he's given a penalty! And it got through.
Holders Everton come out to make FA Cup history by appearing in their 20th semi-final. And they'll be welcomed by some 25,000 supporters from Merseyside. Villa Park, a massive blue and white, as Evertonians express their allegiance to the side hoping to win 3 trophies.
I think they played well first half, put us under some real pressure.
Harford's there. And here's Hill. Ricky Hill! Beautifully taken!
Last minute of time, Sheeds gets a free kick and puts it in, obviously.
He drove one. It's there! Sheedy! Everton have equalised! So, 4 minutes from the end of extra time, Everton have another free kick. Sheedy curls it, Mountfield's there, and it's a goal! Derek Mountfield! And the free kick does the trick again, and Everton, the holders, are in front for the first time. And there it is, Everton are through to their second successive FA Cup final. The holders come from behind to win in extra time, thanks to Derek Mountfield's goal.
So Howard Kendall had led Everton to their 9th appearance in the FA Cup final. Their opponents were Ron Atkinson's Manchester United.
The 85 one was different because we come off the back of winning the league, I think, and win the European Cup Winners' Cup. And we come back on the Thursday, I think, or Wednesday night from Rapid Venice ground. And then we come there, and I think if we give us another week, we'd been flying. But I mean, we'd played 60, 70 games by then at least, which is a lot of games. And we went into cup final, and I thought we were well on top until Kevin Moran got sent off.
McGrath, mistake by McGrath, Everton through here, well, Reid has been brought down by Kevin Moran, and that has to be a booking at the very least. Peter Reid has been brought down, Moran will be booked. But I have a feeling that if Reid could have passed that ball a moment earlier, one of two other, he tried to in fairness, he was trying to find Gray, and is he going to be sent off or not? It looks as though Peter Willis is going to send Kevin Moran off. It was the denying of the goal-scoring opportunity, and we could have a player sent off in the FA Cup final for the first time ever.
And it wasn't really a sending off. I mean, we didn't want their player to get sent off. I think Reedy was protesting to the referee not to get him sent off. And the game changed in that. Sometimes it's far easier to play with 10 men than it is to play with 11.
Kevin became the first player ever to be sent off in the cup final. We were all pretty distraught. But again, professionalism, come on, he's gone now, let's do it. The 10 of us can do it, let's pull together. And that we surely did.
There was always going to be one winner after that. And obviously Norman got a decent goal.
Strachan is following up. Olsen on this side. That's all he's got. Whiteside shoots. It's there! Norman Whiteside has done it again!
And I had to sort of pull myself together and sort of just edge towards goal. And I put Pat Fan in there. I didn't actually lift him down there, but I sort of jockeyed him to get him in line with Neville. So he was obstructed, he couldn't see the ball. And I just used him as a screen, if you like. And when I played the ball just around him, because when Neville could first see the ball, that, from when I just played it, that was the distance his hand was away from getting it.
I think it was even better than Ricky Villa's winning goal for Tottenham. I thought it was an absolute magnificent goal. You've got to remember the occasion. FA Cup final, down to 10 men. The best goalkeeper in the world at the time was in the goals, and he's curled the ball at the top corner net. I'd made a run from the middle of the park to give him a bit of help. It's probably my last run I was going to make in the whole game. And as I was making a run down Norman, I was shouting for the ball. Give us it, Norman, give us it. And then the big fella turned and said, I thought, you big. And the next minute, it's in the back of the net. I thought, what a good move, Norman.
And he just bent into the far corner. It was a good goal. Got to give him credit for that. Maybe Pat was a little bit too far off him and give him a chance to shoot, or a chance to bend. But I mean, that's what makes FA Cup history, doesn't it? Goals and good goals in final. So I mean, you'll be happy with that, won't you?
Everton with this healthy lead in the championship race, trying to retain that title, and also remember trying to reach the FA Cup final for the third year running. Winners in '84, runners up last year. That's Sharp. Here's Stephen, and this is Lineker. And Sharp goes in, and it's going to come to Heath, and a goal by Adrian Heath, the substitute. Here's Stephen. And again Trevor Stephen, and Lineker, and he's buried it, and he may have buried Tottenham season 2. This is Chidozie. And Falco, yes! They've got one back. Thomas with the throw. This is Waddle. Oh, and Nabbit was in there! Was it in? Hasn't been yet! Allen! No! Incredible! And the referee will have to sort it all out. An amazing melee. I thought Nabbit had got the ball in at first. And Donaghy finds Nicholas. King, and Steen's through. Onside! What a chance for Luton! And it's still a chance for Luton. And Steen has done it! 2-0. So it's Stevens with the kick for Everton. And it's a difficult one, and it's there! By Sharp. Graham Sharp has scored, and Everton are back in it. Here's Richardson. And Ricky Hill having to play almost as a full-time defender for the moment. Lineker over the head against Foster. Heath! It's there! Adrian Heath has equalised. The 2-goal lead is wiped out. And Heath comes on as sub and does the trick again.
Now a long ball for Lineker to chase, and just look at his pace. The pace of Gary Lineker brings his 33rd goal of the season.
Everton come down the Villa Park steps just as they did a year ago, knowing the Cup and League double is in their sights. And for the third year running, their fans have the opportunity to give them a huge welcome on semi-final day. Their team has won so much respect these last 2 years, and a measure of Everton's stature as a club is that this is their 21st FA Cup semi-final, an outright record.
It seemed to be our lucky ground at the moment that we're playing at Villa Park, and we wanted that, and we went on. I think Alan Harper put us in the lead.
Back in by Mountfield. Now Harper is onside, and he's got the ball over the goalkeeper, and Alan Harper, the substitute, has scored for Everton. These are anxious moments. Everton having just scored. Hart is there. Shelton's arriving, away by Stevens as far as Snowden. Back in again. Hart and Chapman. Hart header. Shot! Yes, the equaliser. Carl shot.
And then Sharpie scored that great volley, which must have been a great moment for him. It was a great moment for us, so it was a great finish.
Stevens. Bracewell. Heads it back in. Richardson. Mountfield is still forward. Bracewell. Sharp is hovering dangerously. Goal! What a finish by Graham Sharp. 8 minutes into extra time. Everton are back in the lead. Everton and Howard Kendall can continue to pursue their dream of the League and Cup double, and when they get to their dressing room, they're going to find out that we've got the first ever Merseyside FA Cup final between Everton and Liverpool.
I'd been out, I was on crutches in the final, and I thought they were the better side in the day. I didn't think we put enough in, we didn't put enough tackles in. We couldn't disrupt their rhythm whatsoever, and they were better on the day. They played well, they got the goals that mattered. And we took the lead through Gary Lineker, I think.
This is Molby to Dalglish. Now Reid. Lineker off through the centre again, this is promising. Lineker for Everton, saved by Grobbelaar. Lineker, 1-0 to Everton.
If we'd held the lead for a bit longer, I think we'd have been alright, but give them credit, they're the hell of a side as well. Dalglish and Rushy and all them, so it was a good game, but I thought, we could have done better in that one.
Gary Stevens made a mistake. We gave the ball to Ronnie Whelan. He played it inside for me, and I played it through for us, and it was 1-1. And it was like a change. We then knew there's only going to be one winner of this cup, and that was us.
Here's Whelan. Molby. And here's Rush, onside. Ian Rush, goal. The referee was knocked over in the excitement, but Ian Rush has equalised for Liverpool.
This fullback had been pestering me all game, and in fact pestering me, kicking me up in the air, Pat Van Den Hal, remember him? And he'd actually contained me and I hadn't had a kick. So I was paranoid at this stage because I knew my parents were watching, all my mates back in Australia. So I just kept trying. I knew I'd get away from him once, and I did. And this ball just popped up and the goals were just there in front of me. And I thought, if you miss this...
Here's Rush. Dalglish is up, so is Mulvey here. Dalglish, no, Johnston, yes! 2-1 to Liverpool. Whelan. And Dalglish, and Rush is on the far side. Is this 3? It is!
I just felt really sorry for Everton because they could have won the double, of which, of course, we won. And we came back, we shared a plane the next morning with the Everton players, back to Speke Airport. We were at the back of the plane, dancing and singing and celebrating. The champagne was out, and of course they were kind of sat at the front, obviously very, very morose, very, very glum.
I think we finished runners-up in the league that year as well. And we finished runners-up in the cup, which is nobody ever remembers, apart from us. You know, but that's what football's all about, isn't it? That's what cup finals are all about. The cup's one of them competitions that they just remember the winners, and you know, there's certain people that stand out on the day, and people remember them.
In 1988, with Colin Harvey at the helm, dreams of a 4th cup final appearance in 5 years were shattered by this decisive late goal.
It's a goal for Liverpool. And the man who scored it is the man playing in his first ever derby.
Clark. Corbett. Sheedy goes to the crowd to take the congratulations.
Cotti. Finds Nevin. Rosell in front of him. Snowden. They give it Sheedy! 4-0. Snowden. Nicely turned around Butcher. Stevens to knock it in first time. Cotti wasn't tall enough. Sharp! Oh, yes! Well, that must have been the first real opening that Everton have carved in the opening 15 minutes.
McDonald. McCall, the space here. Cotti. Little turn. Sheedy. Cotti. Bracewell. Bracewell again. Back in. It's there. McCall. Stuart McCall. Got the touch. And the fans throw to bits at Goodison. Oh! It was Crook. And it stays out. Now it's in. Courtney looks at the watch in the hand, the watch on the wrist, the whistle is blown, and Colin Harvey will take Everton to Wembley.
But jubilation turned to devastation as news of the Hillsborough tragedy reached the Villa Park dressing room.
Within the space of 5 minutes, it was like the happiest moment of your career, and then you got back into the dressing room and you realised what had happened to Hillsborough, and you know, football was just out the window really. The game was just, it didn't matter what had happened. You know, the semi-final counted for nothing when you heard about, you know, so many deaths at Hillsborough. And I don't think most of us sort of believed it at the time. I mean, somebody said something and they said, no, I don't believe that. And then, you know, by the time you're getting on the bus and everything's filtering through and we had the radio on and everything like that, and it's possibly worse for Dave because obviously he'd been at the club as well. You know, I mean, it was the strangest feeling in the world, really, from elation to sort of numbness, really. There was talk of the final getting scrapped. You know, the football didn't matter. It was a case of even, you know, just let Liverpool have the cup for in the memory of all the people they lost. In the end of the day, you know, it did get played, obviously, but it was a terrible moment. I think if we'd have won the cup, we'd have, well, we would have enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but, you know, deep down, I think you would have felt, you know, for the Liverpool lads and the, you know, the Liverpool supporters.
But Everton know that their season hinges on this match. And Everton today are playing in the FA Cup final for the 11th time, equalling the record held by Arsenal and Newcastle. Liverpool, remember, unbeaten since New Year's Day, 22 League and Cup matches, 19 wins, 3 draws. That's the sequence that Everton are up against. And a huge roar as the kick-off.
We actually felt that, you know, it was meant to be that we are going to play against our old rivals at Wembley and keep it an all-Merseyside affair.
We didn't play well on the day. It was a roasting hot day. Liverpool always seemed in control.
This is Nicol looking for McMahon. Good through ball. He got away from Ratcliffe. Oh, and John August in a great position. And Liverpool have scored in their first attack.
It wasn't until Stuart McCall come on. We got back in the game, and I think we equalised, you know, in the dying minutes of normal time. And it was dragged into extra time, but we didn't play well right through the game.
Watson heads it forward to Cotty. Sharp. Chances here. Nevin. And outside him a chance too. And Bobala. And it's got in.
It turned out to be a great final, you know, although all the action was really in extra time.
You think once it goes to extra time, after equalising so late on, you know, maybe it's our lads who are going to be G'd up and their lads are on a bit of a downer, but it really didn't turn out that way. As soon as we got into extra time, they scored.
Nicol. Oh, there's Rush in there. Rush! Goal! Ian Rush! Liverpool back in front. Ratcliffe. Watson's up. Here's McCall again. Oh, yes! It's 2-2. And it's the same player. Stuart McCall. McMahon. Barnes. Rush! Goal! 3-2 Liverpool. Ian Rush gets his second.
I felt a little bit sorry for the Evertonians, I must admit, but it was nice for us to win it, you know, as I said, that for various things that happened last season.
No, I think we were glad that the game was over, really. I mean, I was glad it was over. It seemed to be an end of a chapter. That closed. And I think it meant that people would never forget what happened in the semi-finals that year because they won the cup.
2 years later, the Merseyside Giants met at Goodison Park with a place in the quarter-finals at stake, and it was to be one of the most dramatic derbies ever.
Ian Rush takes on Neville Southall. And off the line by Hinchcliffe. Beardsley! Sharp wins a header for the benefit of Nevin. It's McDonald who crosses. Newell poised at the far post. Is limping. Sharp! It went through Grobbelaar. He's found Nicol, despite the attentions of McCall. It's more like Liverpool of the first half. Beardsley, Barnes is free. Oh, save! In the Liverpool penalty area. Molby. Oh, where are Everton to close him down? Rush! The scourge strikes at Everton again. McDonald. McCall helps it in. Cotty! 3-3! Barnes. It looks for goal! Hinchcliffe did very well. be talking about this. Everybody who's seen it will never forget it.
In the second replay, the deadlock was decisively broken by Dave Watson.
Headed on first by Sharp, then by Watson in behind Nicol. Keogh! It's an extraordinary save by Grobbelaar, and it's forced in. Dave Watson.
But having disposed of Liverpool, Everton crashed out to West Ham at Upton Park.
Slater. Oh, that's fabulous! And nobody deserves it more than Slater.
Worse was to follow in 1992 as Everton went down 1-0 at Stamford Bridge in their fourth round clash with Chelsea.
In it goes, Dixon's in there for the header. Allen was there too, and that's the goal! Clive Allen, so typical and so well taken.
Even the introduction of new manager Mike Walker in January 1994 couldn't prevent the humiliation of a 3-2 defeat by First Division Bolton Wanderers. Incredibly, Everton let a 2-goal lead slip. Bolton's winner came from Owen Coyle. Mike Walker lasted only 10 months, and his successor, former favourites Joe Royle, saw Everton's 1995 campaign begin with a third-round 1-0 win over Derby County. Andy Hinchcliffe's trusty left boot got the vital goal.
Bristol City, we got absolutely battered.
I don't think we got anything.
If we'd have come away and got beat 3-0, we couldn't have complained. Yet again, Neville's made great saves. We've defended from the moment we've kicked off until the final whistle. Even the goal wasn't, it wasn't created. It was our right back scoring from a ball that had been cleared out of their box, and he'd hit it in with his left foot, and he's normally only uses that for standing on, and it went in.
John Neville was struggling, he had diarrhea. And every time he tried to get him to get up to warm up, he couldn't get off the bench, could he? There's no way you could bring him on there, so we were down to the bare bones, really.
It was after I think it was after that game where Mr. Meg tipped us to win the cup, or it may have been just before that, but everyone started following Mr. Meg then, because if she could have predicted that, then she must be some woman.
Whether Mr. Meg or Bruce Grobbelaar.
Ferguson got to it. Limpar lines it up. Oh! Well, he has rediscovered the knack of scoring goals. Stewart gets the cross in, right out. It's in, and it's forced over the line by Joe Parkinson. Hinchcliffe takes. Yes, poor ride out, and that should be that. Limpar. Ferguson is through. 4-0 in the most emphatic fashion. And he certainly deserved to be amongst the marksmen here. Hinchcliffe. Stewart is their first, lovely control, super goal. It sets it all off nicely. 5 for Everton, 5 different goal scorers as well.
Kevin Keegan's Newcastle United were the visitors to a packed Goodison Park in the tie of the 6th round, and the home fans were able to put all thoughts of possible relegation to one side.
Newcastle were going great at the time, but it was a home draw, and it was a good draw for us. Big game, full house, and another I think there's another one been hanging in there, haven't we?
Yeah.
They played very well, and these must probably made a few great saves again, and we've sneaked it 1-0.
Unsworth with the free kick. Ferguson is up. Stewart is making nuisance of himself, and Everton have scored. Newcastle 0.
It was a bit of a scramble. The ball went up in the air, and I just
over his hand.
I just threw my head in it, threw my head at it, and you know it just went in the far corner. It wasn't a power header or anything. It's just a, you know, a goal.
It's captain's goal.
Just a goal
when you
that
need it.
Scraped us through, yeah.
So to Elland Road, where Everton encountered the flair and firepower of Tottenham Hotspur.
It was a game that we were never going to lose from, you know, getting off the coach at the ground. Like the Everton supporters had 3 sides of the ground, and Tottenham just had one big stand on one side of the pitch.
Cost them twice as much, didn't it?
A big three-tier stand, and the atmosphere, it was just Evertonians everywhere.
Brilliant, to be fair.
And I think that really went in our favour.
Plus everybody was saying, you know, it's one of them clashes, you know, the purists all wanted Spurs to win. And we were the underdogs on the day, but purely because people said we were dogs of war. But it didn't work out like that. We hammered them, really.
I mean, apart from out battling them, we played great on the day. Some great goals.
Best football we played for all season.
Jackson's header! Oh, it's in! Matt Jackson at the near post. Everton have taken the lead. What about now? It's right out clean through against Walker. Good save by Walker. Stewart! It's 2-0 now. It's Graham Stewart.
Should have been 4-0 even, shouldn't it? He got a dodgy penalty, which the referee
Somebody died, I can't remember who it was.
Teddy Sheringham, wasn't it? It was high ball played in, and it was just a challenge for a header, and Teddy fell down, and the referee gave a penalty, which made it 2-1, and you know, it really gave them a lift.
Klinsmann again, he's causing problems. Sheringham's in there. Oh, there's a penalty, is there? Yes. Sheringham went over, and the referee's given a penalty. Everton protest. It's Klinsmann against Southall. Will it be the first goal that Everton have conceded in the FA Cup this season? It is, and it's put Tottenham back in the game. Jurgen Klinsmann.
If Dan Under walked on when he wasn't supposed to walk on and score 2 goals, it would have been different, I suppose. But
that was the misunderstanding, wasn't it? Where I think Paul Rideout went down injured, and Daniel had just sort of took his top off and walked on the pitch without being told, and all of a sudden the substitution had been made before the bosses realised, and that turned the game for us.
Claimed it all the gaffer, didn't he? So what a great substitution it was.
Yeah. Spurs are piling players in there now, they've got to. This is Barmby with the header on. It's Nethercott, saved by Southall's legs from the left back, and on the break Anders Limpar. They've got 4 against 4. Graham Stewart's had to check, he would have run off the pitch. Inside him is Barry Horn here, number 10. Stewart's available now. That's his cross. Amakachi! 3-1 Everton!
That's when Danny turned on his bit of magic, wasn't it?
Yeah, shinned it in.
Come off the shit. He used to come off some strange places with Dan, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Right. But,
as long as he never aimed, he was great.
And the release ball to Anders Limpar. Now he's got somebody sprinting up to his left. I think it's Gary Ablett there. And Amakachi is square and unmarked. Amakachi, surely! It's another one! It's another one! And that's it now. It's all over. Well, Amakachi 2, Everton 4. The Tottenham dream over.
He'll be remembered for that semi-final for the rest of his life.
To be fair, I've never seen anybody more excited in my life than him.
You
know, when you realise you come from Nigeria and you actually get to a cup final, like, the biggest grin I've ever seen in my life.
Everton are through to the FA Cup final. It's 3rd time lucky Joe Royle. And it was a thumping victory in the end.
He had the perfect final lines up with Manchester United and Tottenham. You know, it was what everyone was supposed to have wanted to see.
Yeah.
And
we spoilt it, unfortunately, for them.
We did apologise afterwards, didn't we, for spoiling that?
Sorry, Jurgen, mate.
Having escaped relegation, Everton walked out at Wembley for their 12th FA Cup final appearance. Manchester United were overwhelming favourites to retain the trophy, but Everton relished their tag of underdogs.
I never once thought we were going to lose, really. I mean, it was nice to relax in the hotel. We had nothing to lose whatsoever. All the pressure was on Man United. They'd been there quite a few times, so they knew what was at stake, and I don't think they'd won anything that year. I'm not sure, but I mean, The pressure was all on them to win something. We had no pressure. We'd won our cup final already because we stayed up. So we went into that with not a care in the world, really.
And now the Prince of Wales meets the team from Everton. Dave Watson doing the introductions. Anders Limpa. Amakachi, the Nigerian. Duncan Ferguson, who starts on the bench. Joe Royle.
I think when we got to the ground and the team sheets come in and there's no Kanchelskis, there's no gigs, and then you start to believe that, hey, if you're going to beat United, today's the day.
But they changed their game plan again. If you look back at the game, I don't know how many times Schmeichel kicked the ball out. Really. I mean, he had Mark up front on his own, Mark Hughes, and you were Unzi against him, and he kicked more balls, I think, in that cup final than I've seen him kick for ages. And it was only on later on when we had to drop deep, that he started throwing the ball out. So I think originally they kicked it long for some reason. I don't know why, but they played into our hands because you're not going to get any better people in the air than Dave and David Unsworth.
Game on the day we had Anders Limpa, who was on fire for us. Anders is one of these players who, if he plays well, he'll give anyone trouble. And on the day he was up for it, so he gave them all kinds of problems.
Limpa, first run by him. 4 men back in on this side for you, Manchester United, but they haven't got the ball away. Limpa, really sharp shot by Anders Limpa.
Well, we could have scored a couple of goals in the first half, a couple of more chances we had. And to go in at 1-0, where we felt it could have been a couple more.
Watson gets the clearance in, and here's Limpa, and it's a 4-on-2 break. Stewart wants it to the left, Jackson wants it to the right, Rideout wants it down the middle. Still Matt Jackson. Oh, off the crossbar and out from Stewart, and then in. Rideout.
That was a great goal, because he's reacted to. Graham Stewart should have put it in. A great cross ball by Matt Jackson. He should have put it in, but Paul's reacted great when it's come back off the crossbar, and he's got a lot of power in that header. But as the game went on, the last 10-15 minutes, they put us under a lot of pressure.
They brought Giggsy on, didn't they?
Yeah, Nev made a bit of a save off. Was it Scholes or one of the lads who had come on?
Giggs. McClare's gone one way, and it's played through to Scholes! Good stop, Scholes again, and another stop! Oh, he could have been the instant hero.
We thought, just hang on in there, just get your head, whatever comes in, and get it away, and it was a case of just hanging on the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Even then, when they were pushing up at us, I think Daniel had come on again, hadn't he? And he'd had a chance when Schmeichel had come up for a corner, and he was racing through on goal and forgot to take the ball.
Dan couldn't realise what way he was going, could he? Got in the middle of pitching that way.
Up he comes again as Alec Ferguson looks at his watch. The man in green to challenge the man in yellow. Delivered in. Neville. Amakachi might score. He might score. Schmeichel is not going to get back. He's still in the centre circle. Still Amakachi, but they've now got 2 back. And he's just strolling back. I don't believe it. The cup goes to Goodison Park.
As soon as that final whistle went, I think I was queuing up to go up the steps. I was really looked forward to it, and I did. I made the most of it. I enjoyed it. I was always aware of Kevin Ratcliffe saying, hold the cup up a little bit longer than he did, because I think Kevin just lifted it up for 2 seconds. I think he'd hurt his shoulder in the game, and a lot of people didn't realise it. He said make the most of it. So, I give the cup a good lift, and I held it there for a while and had a good shout. But yeah, it's a moment that you'll always remember, always treasure.
He follows Dixie Dean, Brian Labone, and Kevin Ratcliffe as a winning Everton captain at Wembley. Prince of Wales hands the cup, which he shows to the fans of Everton.
The cup final certainly is the highlight. I mean, I've had a lot of good moments in football, but as you say, from a kid, it's that's what you want to do in football, and to achieve that at such a late age. I think I was 33, 34 when we won the cup. I certainly wasn't going to get many more chances. So for it to come at that age, I think it meant a little bit more to me. Yeah.
All the finals I've ever played in, I hate the end bit. Any game, I hate the end bit. If you have to do a lap of one and all that, I hate that. I just want to go straight off. It's like, you've done your job, and I just like to go straight off. Any messing about, and just get off and get home, because that's what I do normally, after league games. It's a big week, and it's over then. So I mean, the way I relax is to go home and relax, and that's where I'm happiest. So I know Dave had a couple of glasses of water after the game. But I mean, that was, I didn't really want to do that. I've done it the first one, and Ed Stewart was a comedian, so enough said.
In 1996, having been held 2-2 by Port Vale at Goodison, Everton's hopes of holding on to the cup were dashed in the replay when John McCarthy sealed victory for Vale. Bradford City caused one of the cup shocks of '97 when they sensationally won at Everton. Chris Waddle was the inspiration in their 3-2 victory. Despite this defeat, there is no doubt that in over 100 years of the competition, Everton Football Club have earned their place in FA Cup history.